Welcome back, everyone. Sorry I'm about 13 minutes late. I had to get my setup going and kind of figure out exactly a few things I do want to go and cover before we're going to be going over this. I do apologize. Last night I know there was some information I was going to be covering today. I did not have a chance to get to it today, so I do apologize. So throughout the week, I will probably post it throughout social media. Be honest, I don't even remember what I was saying I needed to prove, but we'll go and figure that out. I'll have to go listen to my own episode just to go figure out what I said I was going to go and show you guys or explain. But tonight could potentially be a short show. If you guys have questions, please do ask. We're going to be kind of going all over the place, but I'm aiming to have a regular size show, regular time, from roughly about 10, so obviously 10:15-ish, till about 12:30. And we're going to be going and covering first the topic, so you guys can see from the title of tonight's show, bullet weight loss, right? Weight loss? Yeah, it's kind of an interesting one. But we're going to be going over bullet weights. There's a few things we're going to be going and covering over that as well. I have some other organization. I'm going to be covering some of the things I'll be posting into the group. These could be some potentially very, very good setups for people, especially if they are going to be looking at this case. That way you have the information more readily available. You might have the 488-page report, but do you know what's really everything in there? How is it all connected? Are there parts in there that are connected to other pieces? Yes, there are. So I do have it set up so that way everybody will have, for instance, like the home dimensions from the sketches. They apparently got the dimensions, so that way we've got more of a rough, well, I don't want to say rough, but more of an exact length of the rooms. Math is kind of a crucial thing when it comes to this case. So having the numbers makes you better equipped. As then we can look at things like bullet velocity, right? The loss of kinetic energy. You know, we're going to have the effect of gravity to be looking at on the bullet. There's no wind in the home, as far as we know. Back door being open like that. Was it open like that when this all occurred? Questions like that we're going to go and kind of cover as best we can. But we're going to be focusing on the bullet weight is the big thing here, and a new part we're adding to the evidence information. The Google spreadsheet, rather. So if you guys have questions, feel free, bring it up in chat. Let's talk about it. Yeah. But first thing we're going to go over, since I don't have the trailer available, I'm going to go and just kind of give you guys, this is technically the rough draft, but I mean, it's been kind of finalized. So we're just going to go with it. So you guys will get to see the script. You guys will go and get to see the scene. Sorry, that's the best I've got to offer. I didn't want to go and just spoil everything right off the bat, but this is going to be what you guys get to see. It'll look a lot better when you actually get to see it. So this, for those that are tuning in, you guys get to see the trailer in a way, kind of like reading the Gray State script, except Death of the Family. So I'll start with that. So this is Death of the Family trailer number 2. It's my quote rough script. It's actually finalized. So just to guys, I'm going to go and read it off and set the scene. So snow is slowly falling over a black background. After 3 seconds, 3 handgun shots are heard. The snow begins to fall faster. An evacuation siren begins to play, progressively getting louder. The snow instantly stops. The screen starts to melt like an old film reel. A heartbeat can be heard just under the siren. Both sounds begin to come fainter. The shadow of the Crowley residence visibly flickers as fires begin to burn behind it. I think the Insidious title card effect. Tortured screams can be heard faintly in the distance. Everything goes black as the siren and heartbeat go silent. Death of the Family title card slowly becomes visible as snow slowly begins to fall again. Once the title card has been fully visible for roughly about 4 seconds, the video ends. So what's being said, where this the recording begins, it'll begin right here, roughly after 3 seconds, 3 handgun shots are heard. And it'll begin with Greg. The worst they can do is kill me. And then I'm going to say, is that what you think? and then it's going to go after after all this right here, it begins to fall faster. An evacuation siren begins to play, progressively getting louder. And Greg will be saying 3 lights flickered out of existence. But we're told that it was one bad light that snuffed out the other 2 before cutting its power. The lights have been drugged through the mud since then. All of the evidence speaks a different story than the narrative, though. And then this last part here, the recording number 3 for Greg, it will actually happen right here. When the tortured screams can be heard faintly in the distance and everything goes black, right in between there. As this tortured screams have been playing for just a second, then Greg will chime in saying, couldn't this happen to any one of us? So, do you believe the narrative, or do you trust the science, math, and facts? And then it goes on with the rest of the trailer. So, that's really what it's going to be. I know I'm kind of starting to sound like a real dungeon master here. Sorry. Narrator, yeah. Sorry, I've started playing D&D recently, trying to get kiddos and all this off away from the TV and more kind of just let's use our minds, right? Let's go ahead and imagine things. So I'm trying to go and do better by that. So that's why I'm trying to learn a little bit more about narration, but it's good anyways for my own videos. So nothing but benefits, right? So let's continue on. So this is the trailer here. This is I think it'll be pretty good. So once this is actually fully completed, right now I'm just waiting on a recording for Greg. So whenever that happens, we're going to get that put in. I'm going to have to do some little minor editing, as I'm going to be doing some things like, for instance, his voice will go from kind of sounding like, it'll be like normal, and then it's going to go into more like radio, like old-time radio, when the siren starts to go off, as this, the screen starting to melt. This is where we're right here, rather, through here. It's going to start getting more and more progressively more for radio-like kind of effect with some static and all that. So it's going to have that kind of Silent Hill-esque type of vibe going on, which is the vibe I'm trying to go and give here. Obviously, I want this to be entertaining for people to go and remember it. Yes, I am doing I'm using some psychology against you guys. Yes, enjoy. You guys will remember it, and that's a good thing. I'm not going to try and do like any kind of crazy stuff, but I want everybody to remember it, right? Anybody new coming into it too as well. So, but that's this. This is the trailer, what I've got so far. I've got this, but I'm not going to show this without the rest of it and getting the soundtrack all put together. It's not going to be very long. It's going to be around the same length, maybe a little bit longer than the last one I had. So if you guys haven't seen that one, definitely highly suggest checking it out. You know what, I'll just play it for you guys, but I'm going to go ahead and get this all set up first. It's my video, so I mean, what's the worst they can do? Tell me, oh, you can't do that? What? Good luck on that one. So I'll bring this up right now so you guys can all see it. It does run a little fast, so I do apologize for that. All right. Let me get this all set up so you guys can hear. All right, let me go ahead and there it goes. So it could have been a little slower, made it a little more dramatic, yeah. So I might even, the video itself might actually like no, get out of there. There we go. So it could have been a little more dramatic. I'm actually thinking about updating that trailer itself and making it so it's actually slower. so people can kind of enjoy that a little bit better. But that is that. That's the trailer for it. My first one, which came out a while ago. All right, but a few more updates just to go and cover before we get into the actual bullets. So I was able to go and cut up the 488-page report into chunks that are going to be very, very useful, I feel. So first one I've got is dimensions of the home. I've got that set up so everybody can actually check out the actual size of the room. Namely, I mean, you'll be able, the big ones you really want to focus are going to be the kitchen, potentially the back door, like near the sliding glass door, and then of course the living room. But at the same time, I would suggest people go and notate everything, right? It's better to have all the information than just limited. I'm focused on a limited area at the moment, but I do have the dimensions of everything. So, and now everybody else, well, if you already have the 488-page document, then yeah, you guys will have it too. But it's weird because you're to look at the pages, it's like 116, 117, 119, 121, it's scattered a little bit in areas. So it'll go like one page, and then it'll go, maybe another page, and then it skips one, then goes one, then skips two, goes one, skips like 6 or 5 or 6, and then goes 2, skips 1, then goes a few, and then it does this, and this does this through all these documents. So I wanted to make sure everything was compiled in the right way. The other thing I also got is the item and body positions. So this, I believe, is where they placed the markers. It could have been just directly what they measured up until. So maybe they measured from like the wall to the body, yada yada yada. But basically, they measure these. They've got like the item locations, all this away from the wall, and they've got the the news, north, east, west, south. They've got that all set up, so you can see how far away from the wall and everything it is. It's very, very useful, I would argue. So next, we've got the firearm worksheets. Those that have seen Catherine Michelle and Sophia's video about the firearm information, we're going to be covering that tonight. So there's some things on there I find rather interesting that I do want to go and cover. That I have it just so it's just that chunk. It's like it's in the 400. This is all in the 488-page report. Of course, I just tore it apart so everybody has the information so they know directly what they're looking for, right? Which just goes from page 122 to 125. Or sorry, I apologize, 165 to 185. So you got about 20 pages or so. Then we got Jennifer Kostrowski's latent prints analysis, which is it was a forensic scientist that actually took a look at the latent prints themselves. That's about 13, 14 pages. That just goes from pages 201 to 213. That one is very interesting because that's inconclusive. His prints are inconclusive. It's very, very interesting, especially as they got a hold of his prints and yet inconclusive. How interesting is that? And then we have, of course, the very end one, which is the big one. It's a handwriting analysis. So I cut some of these images out. I left some of them in, like the duplicates. Some of them were kind of a duplicate in a way. And I'm going to trim this down eventually, but as of right now, it's kind of a big deal here. It's huge. So we're looking, I think it's like 60-something pages. But I got those. I'm going to be posting those into the group under files here pretty soon. So those that are interested, those are some good things to go and check out. So without further ado, let's go hop right on into this right here. So I haven't finished putting it all the way together, but this is what it looks like so far without any color. All right. So basically you get the item number, and this is all based on this here. All the information from this here, right? So anything we find in here, we're going to be adding, if it's relevant, it'll go in its following areas. If there's something else maybe that we find that's relevant, hey, let's go ahead and add this column. Bam, we'll move some things over and we'll get it put in. But, I broke some things down, like for instance, the jacket, the type, the core base, all this. I made sure to go and get all the definitions broke down, what they mean. So I'll show you guys where this pops up. So you're to look at the type. Where was it? Here it is. So you look at type here, you got all these different types of rounds. Semi-jacketed hollow point. I don't remember what the SP, but this is jacketed hollow point, full metal jacket, and I don't remember what these other ones are either. But they're different types of bullets, right? They've also got one that's ether. So I'm sure there's other types of rounds there are, maybe some special types. Then we got the jacket. This is broken down by periodic table element, right? So this Cu is copper. Just to show you guys where this goes. Just so you guys know, this is everything you guys... Whoop. Okay. Go just take a look at the image, hopefully. Well, let me just take a look at the image. That'd be great. So you got Cu. Copper is... I don't remember where it's at exactly. Here it is. You got copper right here. Gives you all the information on here if you were to go and look up the element. It's a good thing to go and get into. This here covers so much information. And the thing is, these worksheets, these are scientists. So you got to come from their shoes here, come from their point of view. They're going to put it in their in a science-based format, right? They're just trying to get it out as quickly as possible. Police don't necessarily need to know this. Basically, all they have to do is they can go and consult these people. These people are going to go and talk to them anyways. Probably send an email and explain, hey, this is what we found here, yada, yada, yada. Police, after a while, will probably figure this out, right? Jacket, oh, okay, that's copper. Br, I believe, is barium, if I'm not mistaken. It's beryllium. Br. So it's Br, right? Yeah. I don't know what Br is off the top of my head. So most of them should be in this area here. It's sad that I don't know where it's at right now. I want to say it's barium. No, it's BA. Oh, man. Now I'm curious. What is BR? All right, well, we're looking it up because I'm curious now. Bromine. Okay. Fair enough. Hey, look, Superman. That's bad. Let's see what else we got. But you got, like, I think that's nickel, aluminum, copper plated, and then bromine plated. All right. And then you got your core. PB is lead. ST is, oh, I don't remember what that one is either. Antimony, that's what it was. I couldn't remember the top of my name or the top of my head, but yeah, ST is antimony. It's not something you're going to see a whole lot of. You're going to see lead. A lot of times it's going to be lead. They made some issues here. They tried to say the base was open, but really it was closed. You can go and take a look at the bullet here. What do we got? We got a bullet, which means this was not an expanded bullet. Right? Yeah, kind of. Not exactly. If you were to go and take a look at over here, we're going to go look at 42 real quick. 42. Okay. So then we have to go to the crime scene here, go take a look. I don't remember if it was or not. I want to say it was. Oh, BC, I don't think they used a whole lot of the tags. EVP BD would have. Let's see. So we're looking for 42. Let's take a look. Once we find 42, we're good. Where is it? Because there was really only one round, I believe, that actually did. They listed their thing incorrectly. Ha! They did. 42, bullet. Just to be on the safe side, let's go ahead. We're going to go bring this back. Does that mean there's information they actually placed incorrectly? Ooh, that is not going to be good for them. Let's see. 42 is a bullet. That was nuclear tested. All right, cool. .42, classified as bullet. But then we see here, let's take a look again. Love this right now. This is just stupid now. They misplaced it. I know we're in crime scene, or the BCA versus what you call it. Oh, thank you, by the way, Sophia. I totally appreciate that. So, been a while since I've had you in chat anyways. All right, let's see. I don't remember which. I want to say it was in here. I just don't remember which, or like how far down it was, rather. Is the bullets themselves, the thing is, it makes sense for them to lose weight, not gain weight, right? If you're going to be shooting through somebody, right, especially the hollow point, you're going to have that little hollow point. It's going to detach a lot of the time. So you get your case, then you have your hollow point itself. So it's going to fly out. It's going to go and bounce around potentially. It could just fly right through and just watermelon their head. Look that up if you guys are curious what I'm talking about. Watermelons and hollow points. That can happen, but that being said, the human skull is a lot denser. It's a lot harder to go and just than a watermelon. So the extreme, no, not quite that extreme, but it depends. If you go through a soft area and you come in through an area that's weaker, it's maybe got any like fractured, or if it's got any cracks, things like this, weakness. Yeah, I could do that still. Let's see, 42. Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, is I've got this located on here. I took Catherine Michelle's. She gave me the spreadsheet, so I went and I added it to it. I wanted to have it so it was attached to the evidence, so that way people could just go flick through and then have the information. And I added some things in there that I felt that were relevant, and I also wanted to make sure this is organized in a way that, I don't know, it made more sense to me this way, kind of, not 100%, but still kind of. So I got to still organize this a little bit, but yeah. Alrighty, so let's get back into this. Let's see, 42. Where is it? Still find it hilarious that 42 is up on the counter and it shows the cell phone. That's ridiculous. That's all of them, okay. They don't show 42? Fascinating. Okay, well, wait. This isn't quite in order. Did I miss it? Because I believe it's this one here. Gets labeled 42. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at through the AVPD again. If it'll load. Yeah, I was just looking through the BCA, but it shows it as item 42, but I didn't see it there. I just wanted to show this off. I thought this was hilarious. See, 42. So we go through here. Where do we see the gun save? Gun save. There it is. Item swabs 38. So I mean, they did some things where I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird. Let's take a look through the BCA then. That's what I'm saying. I think they just numbered them badly. I know that they have the two different types of numbering system. You know, usually those little tags are going to be for like blood, some kind of a fluid. Usually, not always, but that's more often than not. You'll see them used with that. And those little triangles, they're usually used for like bullet casing, things like that. So I find it hilarious when it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is item 42. Well, where's the bullet? Just sworn these are mostly in order. I want to just double check this. We got 31 right there. What does 31 say about it? It's a bullet fragment. All right, 31 I have not put in yet. So we just basically have to come back to this and just keep putting information in. But they give you all the details here, and this is the part we're going to want to pay attention to, is right here. Right? So if you were to go into this right up here. Should be 180 grams of them, if I'm not mistaken. Want to say it is, but at the same time, I almost felt like it was 180 grain, but I don't know if that really makes any sense. Let's take a look. It's 180 grain. the best way to describe it. So I didn't see anything about weight on here. For 767. Let's take a look. We got number 7 here. So if we're going to look at number 7, we got a cartridge. But that's not just a cartridge, that's the full bullet right there. Now this is interesting. Alright, don't mind the bones and skin matter and all this, but and hair, of course. And white dog fur. Just saying. But the thing is, we're talking, these are full bullets that are just... And even then, you want to go and look about these too. Take a look at this here. Is that a Full Metal Jacket bullet? Well, if you were to go and look a little closer, it does appear there's a groove there, right? Let's take a look at the Winchester. Well, it does appear to be, it does look like it. Let's take a look a little bit closer. Now that does kind of match this here. It does appear. It's got the little divot here. This one has these little divots too. So this does look like it matches. Overall, it looks like it definitely matches for sure. All right, and that's fine. I always double check even what the police want to say. They're like, "Oh, this is this is what they're saying." Well, let's double and triple check. Why? Because you want to make sure you're in the right. If they're not in the right, well, you don't want to follow along somebody that's wrong, right? You want to make sure you've got your own. You've come to the same conclusion. So anything they say, back it up, right? If you can't back it up, then well, you can't really. Can you go off what they're saying? I wouldn't trust it. I can't prove it. Just with some basic research, like if they were able to show this is what this is here, and I go find the same thing, great. But if they show this, and I find, oh, actually you're wrong on the round here, you're saying it's this type of round, but it's actually this type of round, then we have a problem here. Because couldn't somebody look at that and be like, hang on 1 second. Okay, so it is, okay. Just wanted to double check. Like I said, it's nothing against Catherine or anybody else, but it does say 180 GR. Usually when you see GR, we're looking more like grain. Somebody goes like, 80 G, what is grams? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I very well could be wrong. Yeah, see, it's usually G. That's what I thought. So, to see GR, it's kind of weird. I'm going to think grain. This is why I would think grain. GR. So, that's why. So I have to go and make sure everything is backed up. All right. So, but this is interesting because you got item 7. They're just saying that's a bullet casing. However, that is not a bullet casing. That is the full round. That's an unspent round right here. What do they say on here? Number 7. It works for the firearm. No DNA. So number 7, it's not actually a cartridge. They're wrong. This is what it's labeled through. Okay, mind you. I'm going to actually just notate this. I want that to be noted. All right, so what else do we got going on here? It's item 7. What's happening over here? What's number 8? Is it the knife? 8's the knife. There's also some interesting information on that one too. So let's see. Then you got 9 is a cartridge, or cartridge case. Where's the next round we have? Ah, now wait, now there's another one. There's 10. So 9 to 11. Now what is 10? Interesting. What is 10? That looks like potentially a fragment. So let's take a look again. We're gonna have to go and back out of that. What's 10? Sorry, my computer's a little laggy. I do apologize for that. 5109. All right, let's take a look. If it'll load a little faster. I don't have 5109. Maybe it's up here. Yeah, I don't have 5109. Interesting. Yeah, I don't have that one. All right, so let's go to BCA. Yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look again then, I guess. I'll have to go through this again. Whoops. I don't know how I don't have 5109. How do I not have any of these? Wow, how do I not? And what the hell is this? Gotcha. Book page with blood. Okay, I'll have to go notate that in the evidence log. As you can see, I'm not perfect, obviously. I don't have everything, apparently. I thought I did, but now I have to go and get these now. Oh, that's right. I didn't need any of these ones right here. They're not really necessary. At least in my opinion, they're not necessary for it. Now I'm curious about these now. Definitely got these on the Discord, but I don't have them in my Google Drive. Interesting. Very, very interesting. That is so curious. That is so freaking curious here. Huh. Right, right. But that's the thing, is I could have sworn I downloaded everything. So I went to the Gray Station, I went to the Ugly Truth, or uglytruth.info, grabbed from Dan's site, and I grabbed from Greg's site, to make sure I had everything as much as possible. And I think there's a few things you hooked me up with as well. Yeah, there definitely was. But hey, how's it going, Rick? So yeah, interesting to say the very least, but I'll have to go and notate that here. But still, unspent around here, that's interesting, as they just label as cartridge, but it's just unspent around. It's very, very curious. All right, so let's keep going. What else do we got here? So we know this is in grams. We know these guys are losing weight. Now that's the thing I want to go and notate here. It's fair to assume this right here, this got lost because it's just the fragment itself. Okay, these... this is where they were discovered at, for that much weight. So if it was just a fragment, because you're looking at 42, just a fragment, that's 180 grams just for the fragment alone. That little piece. If you were to look online, this is for the whole thing. So really, these don't make any sense if there's no case, I guess. But at the same time, the difference then, it's one of those things that's like, well, it picked up some stuff. So really, did it lose this? It did, but it didn't really lose it. But you just basically the big thing to go and notate here. This is the big thing. So you got this one here at 19.14. And then you got these other ones. Look at this. That's a big jump right there. So why is this? So item 31, if I'm not mistaken, that was the one that was Renia's, wasn't it? One they were trying to say was Renia's. So that fell on the carpet. If I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Sophia? I mean, just off the top of your head, that should be correct, right? So I want to say it was 31. Well, anywho. So this isn't really all this suspicious. This is suspicious to some degree. This, not really. As you can see, this is pretty consistent. General area is pretty consistent. What do you got with the blood like? You lost a lot of weight, a lot more weight. Well, how is that possible? These didn't really lose any weight at all. This lost weight. So why is it losing weight if there's blood-like substance? But then you got this white substance, didn't really lose anything at all. White material didn't really lose anything. Okay. But then you got this one here. It's got the white material, but it gains weight. And they notated that it was partially expanded. That to me is curious. What is that? That's item 57. That's the one that went up in the front entrance, right? It's very odd. The weight alone is odd. There's really not a whole lot. I mean, honestly, when it comes down to this just basically shows there's something strange going on. And it's interesting, they also notate it as white substance versus white material. White substance, honestly, what could this be? This could be mold. This could have been mold getting in there, potentially. This could have just been brain matter, right? This could be things like that, yes. But now, my question is, so you've got blood-like substance here, extreme weight loss. White substance here, next to no weight loss. That's interesting. This is something we can go notate. So why is this white substance? Is it heavier? And if it is a white substance that's heavier, then what is this white substance? And then you gotta look at who these bolts went to. 53. 53 is the Renia one, right? Oh, no, that's the one that fell off the carpet. All right. Cool. All right. So, I've got questions about this. This is very, very peculiar. So they weighed at 19.14. We don't know what this originally was. You can assume it's the same bullet, right? You can assume these things. Potentially. Unless this is a different bullet. We're going to keep adding this information in though, so. Right. For 57, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes sense. And they're trying to say this is David's, but when it comes down to 57, that was up in the attic. That did some bouncing around. You can see the white speckles from where it hit. Well, exactly. So now this is where I'm getting at here. Then you have to go and question, is cotton heavier than blood? Well, the answer is no. Absolutely not. And if I'm not mistaken, all of these, if I'm not mistaken here, okay, these are all technically bullet fragments, correct? This is the importance of also why we got to notate these photos in spreadsheets like this. That way people can actually just go refer. This is the photo you need to look at to see it, right? These are photos you can go to and you'll be able to see where it was at. Well, it's a big deal, it really is. And I'm not complaining to you guys, I promise. It's just it's one of those things. If you're making this, if you're going to recreate the crime scene, you gotta have these things, right? So notating directly where everything's at. So we could always go ahead. We could take a look at the item body positions and actually go and place it ourselves, right? But why? When we can just go look at the photo way faster. It's just basically at that general location we know how we can actually place it. If we're going to make it so it's going to be mathematically scaled perfectly, that's how we would do it, which the crime scene for the video is going to be as close as I can possibly get it. Of course, there's some Silent Hill references and all this kind of stuff. So, quick question for you, Sophia, just real quick. Just wanted to make sure, just if you're interested in being in that video, let me know. Trying to get that together here pretty soon so that we can start recording. I'm going to start sending off the script here rather soon. So if you're interested, just let me know. Message me on Facebook or something like this, and we'll talk. The death of the family video. Instead of just having Greg by himself, me and Greg in there. Talk to Catherine. She said she'd be interested. I want to get Dan in on this, but we'll probably be bringing in some people, so they have parts they can talk about, just to give the video a lot more personality. Okay, sounds good. We'll just go from there. But do you have a good night, and we'll talk later. But this is very, very handy to have, right? If you're going to recreate the crime scene, you want to recreate everything that was going on. This is the best thing you could do, because now you got weights you can look at, and I'm probably going to be moving this. Actually, this will probably go all the way over here, probably right here, and the DNA match will be over here. So, but I want to have like a notes section, so if there's anything I'm not covering, bam, it's right there. This I will be making public here rather soon, because I'm actually going to be able to go and have kind of everything kind of put together so everybody can have that. But then again, this is all going to go, it will be along with the timeline, so everybody's got everything, bam, right there. You know how it's all going to be in order. When you need to see this is what it comes with. You look at the crime scene, bam, there's a section. Here's day of the crime scene, or whatever it's called. So that's where that'll be. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start filling this data from here. Here's the firearm worksheet, and we're just going to start inputting this. If you guys have any questions, things like this, let me know. I don't have two screens right now, so I have to go back and forth, but long story short, yeah, my computer's crapping out. So, but 2012, I need an upgrade badly. So, but we're gonna be adding this information in because it's crucial to have. Like what kind of substance was found in there? Is there any trace material? What about the bullets themselves? Were they damaged? Were they, what's going on? So. I forgot to add that over here. So this, what bullets are these? It's 42 and 43. It's expanded and damaged. I'm going to just fix that. And this one, I believe, is just damaged, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, partially expanded. Okay. So next we have 53 and 57, I believe, are next. Oh, 44, 45, okay. All right, looks like everything is (42, 43). Ah. Interesting. So all of this is the same. We know this is the same. 42's also got bend pedal for examination, so I'm gonna put that in notes. Alrighty. Which is another interesting one. It's one that didn't really lose a whole lot of weight. We know we got a blood-like substance there. We'll have to go and expand this a little bit. Because it also said hair, I believe, and hair-like substance. Blood-like and hair. There we go. And the other one's just blood-like. We haven't got that yet. Let's see, anything to notate over there. So we expanded and damaged. Then partially expanded and damaged. What am I doing? Oh man, that's terrible. My grammar, jeez. There it goes. Okay. Right, now this is where things get interesting, I say. Because now we hear from Hendricks. Now, he claims that David had a specific way of, like, he would fully load, like, one magazine, I think it was. The others would be missing, like, one or two. See, so that's what makes us curious here. Why does he know so much about David's loading habits? That's why I always have so many questions about Hendricks. He's mysterious because he just comes onto the scene. Just one day, just boom, he's on the scene now. We see that in 2014, we don't see his phone number actually pop up until March. Exactly, that's something that like a close friend would know, but he doesn't pop up until March. We also get to see these other. Like David's list. So Danny Mason was on there. So was H.T. Altman. So was Zach Carter. So was Sean Wright with a question mark. H.T. Altman with a question mark. You know, things like this. It's like, are these people interested, or are these people that need to? He's trying to get on board. Then the list is another one we have to break down. Of course, and then you also have the notepad. There's some interesting things in there as well. There's a lot we can break down. David has got a lot of mystery in his life. Well, had a lot of mystery in his life. And even more in his death, I would argue. Because those mysteries, we have to now kind of unravel, put together the pieces of the puzzle, just that way we can kind of understand little bits and pieces. It's very, very much, it's kind of almost like an escape room. If you guys have ever done an escape room, you might get this reference here. But basically, it's like you solve this, so that way now you've now got this piece of the puzzle, so you can start this puzzle. But now you can't complete that puzzle because you have other puzzles, the puzzle piece, to put together, and a lot of those you also got to go and find other pieces, so you can go and do that. Some of them, it could just be cryptic, right? It could be something that's just like, like with. Why does he have the set design for a cremation of care type ritual in his office? Why did and the thing is, it doesn't look like the ones at Bohemian Grove. It looks similar because you have the Moloch owl, right? You have that there, but it's stone. Oh yeah, some of them are very, very tough. I've done a few of them. The very first one I was able to do, I did with my wife. Ton of fun. It was a Dr. and Jekyll Hyde room. It was really, really fun. We were actually on track to even hit the record, and it was like a 4-person team is what they were recommending. But my wife wanted to go and have a date night there, and so we went and almost. So we were on track, but we had some road bumps. So, but yeah, that was an impressive day. We discovered the hidden room. We got through all that. I think pretty much every single one of them have a hidden room. It's just kind of that's the usual gimmick. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. I've been meaning to, as I know around Halloween they usually have. Oh, I bet. There was one that was not to get too off topic on this, but there was a escape room that was set up over in, I think it was like Gresham or it was Beaverton, one of those. But it was Halloween, like the film franchise of Halloween. It was set to that theme, and you had a certain amount of time to basically escape from Michael's home. You're trapped in there, and you've got X amount of time before he starts coming in. And so you can kind of, in a way, kind of block him off and things like this. I never got to try it. I've seen it pop up a couple times. Oh, no, dude, no worries. It's all good. Conversation is good, regardless what it's about. I want to connect with everybody, I really want to go make sure we have conversation going, I'm relatable, somewhat. Yeah, that's how I like to think of this case. It is definitely very, very much like an escape room. And if anything, technically speaking, I think I'm the one who pulled this off topic, kind of, So, but yeah, this case is very much like that, because if without the phone records, there's some things we may not know, right? Can we disprove some of these comments? Yeah, we can, very, very easily. Did A, B, and C actually occur? Like it was being said? No, they didn't actually occur. Okay, well then now we can basically just reject what this was set up here. But now let's take what it was also said. What else can we dissect from that? Then we've got the financial information. We've got the search history. We've got the journal. You go off of, if you come from the angle of a gray state, you come in with this whole, potentially have this on your head. I didn't, because I looked at Danny August Mason, I looked at Hendricks, I looked at all these guys, and I was like, who the hell are these guys? These guys are shady, instantly. And I think that was a lot of people went through that. But so that's part of the fun with this. But you come from that angle, now it's like, okay, well, these guys are claiming they're friends of David. They were really good friends, all this. They were like his best friends. Well, you go and read his journal, and no, not at all. Did not like them really at all. You go through the scripts. What do you find? Well, now all of a sudden you go from having John Waynick as a kind of like a secondary role in the first script, and all of a sudden, right, exactly. And then you go through the second script, or the later script, where they completely cut out all like the occult stuff. All of a sudden now it turns into, now it's a war movie, or it's a war movie. This is what basically it turns into. It's like a revolution, and things change. You don't see the John Waynick character in there anymore. So, and it goes from Daniel Nicasi to I don't remember his name. It's Daniel something, I believe. But my point is, it shifts. And you also get to see, it goes from the original one had the InfoWars sticker, and all of a sudden goes to 9/11 Truth. Question is, why did that switch? Right? Right. Is that final script? It's a totally different thing. We also got to see that they're like, oh yeah, no, David wasn't getting the money. He wasn't going to be getting the money. That was just rumor. Nope. He was on schedule to go get it. You see what I'm saying? It's all these things, they keep popping up like this. And so now we're able to kind of see this different picture. Who was David Crowley? You have what the media is portraying him as, what the narrative declares him as. You got what his friends and family think he is. They're different. Then you've got what you can find through this case. I would say you've got a gray state stuff, but really it's narrative and pack theory. So, incorrect. And you get something completely different. You start breaking things down. Can you use the Myers-Briggs test on this? I'm one to believe you can. That's usually more of a personal thing. But if you're answering from somebody's standpoint, you can kind of get in their head, right? I see nothing wrong with it. I've used it in other cases before. Why not, right? Especially if you're trying to go and find somebody. Getting to know what type of personality they have to really kind of get what would this type of personality be declared as. Then you can study up on this personality type. No, not everybody's going to fit this to a T, right? But you can kind of have that kind of hat you can place on them. They may be different. Maybe they're different in one way, just maybe they're a lot more forward. Or maybe they're a lot more reserved. You can be a reserved extrovert. You still can. You get your energy from being around people, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be the loudest one in the room. An extrovert they get their energy from being around people. An introvert likes to remain to themselves, just kind of alone. David was an extrovert. So He was out and about all the time. But he had his time where he was also keeping to himself. So it comes down to, once you get to understand his personality, then you've got more you can open up to. And the thing is, we have to look at the couple. We can't just go and look at just David, right? Because the reason we can't is because look at how they interacted. Look at through the journal how David would talk about Kamel. If Kamel was mad, that threw David's day off. If David had a bad day, that would throw Kamel off. We see this, and it's not just through his journal either, so pay attention to the email exchange between Kamel and Allison. What Allison had said to her brother. And even then, we can go and already basically shut that down because we can just look at the phone records, right? Let's take a look real quick. I just want to show this off real briefly, and we're going to get back to adding the information in. But we go through the phone records. Now, this is the part that's interesting here. And we want to notate this. I'm going to go ahead and make this separate real quick. Whoops. Just because I don't want anybody to see the numbers. Let's see. Go ahead and take a look. And then we're going to go look for Kate Crowley. All right, so she appears 34 times. And it starts in October. "57 seconds. Doesn't go to voicemail. She talked to her. They talked. 57 seconds. If you go back to the email exchange, I don't remember which one that was in. I think that was a 488. Let me see. I want to say that was a 488. Want to say it is. Zoom this out. Actually, I'll just go like this, just to make it easier, so I can just go. You can see what I'm looking at here. I want to say it was in here. Yes, they also put together a timeline. Here's the dimensions. A lot of that they could cut out because a lot of it was just like duplicates and stuff. Handwriting analysis. It's a good chunk. I want to say it was in here. I'm short on this. Wrong one, I think. Just go to page 2. Really want to say it was in here though. Nope. All right. No worries. Well, I've got other records in here. And it matters. That's the thing, is that the email is absolutely fascinating to go through. Where was it? It was the 94 page. Oh, hey, how's it going, Cindy? No, we're just quickly going over this right now. It's the evidence that just kind of pieces together so well, especially when you get the bullet information, then you get the mold, you got the lack of blood, you got all this, the regular stuff that connects so well. But then you've also got you got the list, who that connects to, you get the script, who that connects to and also leaves off. I mean, things like that, they're fascinating, to say the least. I want to say it was in here. Wait, what? No, I didn't. I did never notice that. Apparently, Renia, who they keep calling Renita. Stop! It's Renia, dude. And see, the thing is, I don't think she was actually saying it was the Spider-Man movie. I just got a feeling she wasn't. And they also refer to her as Miss, like Ms, as in like MISS, right? Versus Mrs. So that's messed up. This is why I have an issue with some of the stuff that these guys are saying or typing in, whatever. It doesn't make any much difference to me. It's the fact that this person here didn't pay attention that David is not writing the next Spider-Man movie. She said they would be moving to California. Okay, well, if this isn't true, does this mean this is true? I still haven't found anything about them moving to California, even potentially. I know that they talked about in the journal, that you got this brought up. I think it's more than likely. She had just been aware that they had just moved to Apple Valley. And then, of course, Renia suffering from autism and Asperger's. I mean, explains some things based on the way David was talking, the way about her, and then, of course, the way Kamel spoke about her. So there's that. Where is it? There it is. Okay, it's coming right up in here. So you got Allison. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over this real quick. So, late October. We got a few things going on here. So now we can take this timeline we have here, and we can actually compare it to the timeline. Now, what matches up? Well, we got a few things here we have proof of. So we got Allison on November 20th, 2014. This is from Allison to David. What the F is up? Heard you changed your number, and that's just fine. It's one thing to bar your siblings from your life and goings on, but when mom calls me weeping and convinced that you're dead, my frustration with not being able to have a relationship with you turns to fury. I get that you're busy, you don't need us, but I'm busy too, and don't have time to perpetually talk mom off a ledge because you won't spare 5 minutes a week, if that, to talk to her. Call her, give her your phone number at least. P.S. Susan and I are going to make a feast at Dad's for Christmas Eve. I hope you guys come. No response from David, of course. On the 21st, this is just one day later. Keep in mind, 2:01. Okay. They don't say PM or AM. Oh, it is PM. Never mind. Wow. I don't know. I didn't see that. And this one is the next day. The morning. This is to Kamel. Sorry to do this. I sent David a more pointed email yesterday, but he's impossible to reach. You guys have new phone numbers? But do you mind telling him to get a hold of mom? She's taken to calling me every day, convinced you guys are dead. How's your mom doing? Thanks. And then Kamel responds, mom was personally given both David and my new number. Given that we are all well acquainted with mom's history of forgetfulness and exaggeration of her reality and situation, I would humbly suggest not succumbing to hasty emotional reactions over erroneous information that has no logical basis. My mom will be finishing up her 16th week in the hospital. Thanks for asking. So, once again, these are things we can go and break down. Okay? These things will be... You can use the timeline because now we can use these. Now, is this true? Was she finishing up her 16th week in the hospital at this point? That's where we're going to be able to go and take a look. Is this true? Now, does this necessarily matter to the case? No, but we get to see. And here's the other thing. Then we can also go and we don't really have a whole lot from Kamel. And I do know people text differently than they do even email or even call or even just talk in person. People speak differently in different manners. Why? Because, well, when you have something you can kind of hide behind a little bit, you tend to be a little bit more open. You're going to be a lot more, you might seem more intellectual behind something than you would right up in front of somebody's face. I don't know. Some people, people get weird with that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I know that I have seen this with people before. Okay. Old friends and things like that. So, all right. So then they're having this email conversation. Just within hours, they're talking back and forth. So Allison says, "You're right. I made assumptions. I assumed that mom didn't have your numbers because I didn't have them, and I assumed she was experiencing what I was, trying to text you guys and not getting a response. It's emotional. My email to David. You're right about that too. I don't like receiving hysterical calls throughout the day. I don't like having to convince an intoxicated mom that you guys aren't dead. Of course, I didn't think you were dead, but I also know that every time I talk to anyone in the family, they ask if I've heard from you. It's like nobody has heard from you. It feels like you've disappeared over the past few months. It might have been an emotional reaction, but it wasn't hasty. Last time we all hung out was in August, and it was fantastic. I had an awesome time. I like you guys a lot. You mentioned how David wished he could have a relationship with his siblings. I want to have a relationship with him too. I'm crazy about David. I always have been, but now I can't get a hold of him at all, and it's frustrating. It feels like he's putting up barriers, and I don't understand why. I don't know if I've done something wrong. I'm eager to make it right if I have. I don't know why that just doesn't make any sense. I'm eager to make it right if I have. Is there a reason for the recent silence? I wasn't trying to stir up trouble here. I was looking for a solution to mom's current bender. A call from David would make a big difference. That's all. I'm sorry if my emotions blurred my intentions. I am emotional about this, to be honest. I don't want to lose you guys. I'm also sorry if my inquiry about your mom seemed tacked on. I've been trying to send you texts and positive thoughts, but I suppose they've been going to the wrong number. I'm sorry about that. I hope you haven't felt abandoned in this difficult situation. You and your mom are never far from my mind. As always, if there's anything I can do to help or ease your mind, please let me know. Al. And then this is where things start to get a little bit... you can see that Kamel or whoever wrote this basically just said, all right, I'm done. Of course, there's a reason for the recent silence. We obviously don't get any form of pleasure with holding communication from our own family. I don't think it was necessary for either David and I to spell it out, but this is all I choose to share. We are dealing with an endless list of deeply personal issues silently, as adults, as lovers, as partners, and parents. With that said, I refuse to play mom's emotionally manipulating games and will not allow my husband's participation in such ventures. See, this shows you right there. This is Kamel. They do things as a partnership, right? They do things together. So we also see some other things. And now we get to hear about this side of Catherine Crowley from both Kamel, or somebody that it is posing as Kamel at least, which we can believe this is Kamel at this point because there's still some phone activity and things like this that are going on. But so, back to what I'm saying here, you get to see this on both sides. They're saying that yes, Catherine has got some kind of abusive problem with either alcohol or something like this. Right, exactly. So that's the other thing, to go ahead and take a look at is right here. Is then we start seeing what happens here. 7:39 a.m. 3:50 p.m. 7:39 a.m. Was anybody up at that point? No, nobody was doing anything at this point. So there's a time gap of like 18 hours, I think. Yeah, I think it's like 18 hours. There's like an 18-hour gap of no phone activity. All right. Then you start seeing him calling nonstop. You're absolutely 100% correct. Calls him a few times a day at least, with only like 1 or 2 days being missed. But then on the 20th of November, goes absolutely crazy. Actually, that's 100% what you were just saying. So, here it is. So November 22nd, what do we got here? November 20th, so it was 2 days prior actually. So bam, 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 bam. Just calling nonstop. You can see these are going to voicemail. 36 seconds, voicemail. Not a single one of these is being not avoided. So this tells me there's a few things here. If we got both parties saying that, yeah, she's got an issue, does that mean there's something going on? I would assume so. Okay, Allison's the one who put the family put this together, this whole timeline. It's fair to assume it's probably true. So we got both these guys. Let's see. So you also have this too. To Brother Dan. Correspondence with Kamel. This is interesting. She put this in here. Oh yeah, let me finish up here first. So okay, so I refuse to play mom's emotionally manipulating games. Blah blah blah. My advice to you would be the same one I am practicing myself. Turn off your phone and don't let out-of-state calls dictate how you should be feeling or what you should be doing at any given time. And then she talks to Kamel again. She goes, all right, best of luck with everything. She kind of lets it go. That was at 11:16 a.m. And then what does she do? 10 minutes later, correspondence with Kamel. Brother Dan. Okay, so this is what's going on. It's upsetting bullshit, but it looks like we shouldn't expect to see or hear from them for a while, forever. Who knows? I'm going to try and stop caring, I guess. So that's that. What happened? This just goes right back to the whole August thing. What happened? There's another part here. It's from Allison. This is December 15th. He also asked for Kamel's phone number for his records. That's weird. So Allison emails Kamel, I think. Yeah. Susan and I are coming to town for Christmas times, and we want to cook for everybody, so how's about y'all come down to Dad's for Christmas Eve festivities? That means feasting and maybe game playing and drinking mulled wine and other tasty drinks and watching the Muppets Christmas Carol, and maybe Dad can talk about how we're all grinding toward death. Please come and let me know if you're coming so we can get the right amount of food. Thanks, can't wait. And then, so Kamel writes, she goes, hello, Allison. Thank you for the invitation, but unfortunately none of those activities sounded interesting to Rania. So we'll be spending our Christmas Eve putting up lights around the house, making some hot cocoa, and telling some children's stories by the fire. Wish you, Suze, and sweetest Lucy safe travels and hope this year's wrapping up just as you wanted. Love, Kamel. So now you're seeing a different side. This is Kamel that's a lot more like kinder. This has had some time to kind of cool off potentially. Or maybe this isn't Kamel, right? We don't know. When you're seeing texts and all this, especially with couples, like look what happened with Gabby Petito. Brian Laundrie was using the phone, texting her mom, trying to sound like her. Odd. All right? So you had that possibility here. Maybe something happened, right? Were they kidnapped? Who knows? I don't know. Allison writes, of course, very sorry to hear you won't be coming, but understandable that you'd want to make new traditions. Happiest of holidays to you and yours. Is there any chance that Susan and I might see you guys while we're in Minnesota? And this is where things get curious. Okay, this happens that same day, within not even an hour of her responding back to her. Well, a little over an hour. Al, I've been nothing but patient and polite in my email exchange with you, but it appears as though you're mistaking my generosity for ignorance. Here is the answer to your question. Please go back and read the email you sent to my husband on my birthday. Read it. Carefully take in each word that you accused him of, and imagine your brother's face, and if you have any God-forsaken love left for him, you will be forced to imagine the face that cried to you, trying to show you his heavily burdened heart back in August. We're not kids anymore. Take some responsibility for your words and stop pretending your F-ups are forgotten by others just because your mind has chosen to get over it. Later I met with... Oh, and then, yeah, that's basically when the officer says he met with David's mother. But, yeah, very interesting. December 15th. So then we'd have to go in the timeline. What happened on December 15th? Who called on December 15th, right? Kamel to Wells Fargo. That's all that occurred there. Then, of course, you get the following day, Danny August Mason calling David, and David just not talking to him. And then calling the next day, not even giving him a voicemail. Or not calling, but texting him. So, rather curious. So this is like I said, this is why the timeline's so crucial. Because now you get to see everything laid out per day. You get to see these emails. They're popping up. What do those mean? Right? All right, but let's get back to the firearms. That is the big thing we want to go and focus on. So let's take a look at this bullet fragment here. Should be item 31. Oops. Okay. Okay, this other one, the 53, is fully expanded. Does not say damaged, though. So take note on that. Does not say damaged. This doesn't say damaged. Now, that's where we have to get into this. So these are two items here that are undamaged. Now, why are they undamaged? Then you've got these other things you got to go and take a look at. Do these match up? Now, 0.3 or 0.003 is always going to be the number this diameter is going to be. Okay. If it's anything over that, then we have a problem. Potentially. If it's too great, too drastic, you have a problem. All this is the exact same information though. Brass disc, closed, flat. Right? Let's take a look at this other one here. See, now this is where things get a little interesting. Are they the same? Yes. Okay, they are the same. Okay, never mind. They don't get interesting. Let's take a look at 31 here. Same thing, same thing. Now we don't have a base. Nothing here. Partial limps and gimps. Interesting. See, and I don't like this conclusion here. Item 57 identified as having been fired by item 1. Item 1 fired item 31. That doesn't, you can't just draw the same conclusion. You can't. I hate how they did this. I just really don't like it, the setup of it, rather. But all these are bullet fragments. Okay. It's technically, this is expanded. Okay. Technically, but we can't put it. Not yet. So what do we got here? Well, we know it's this. Pedal visible. Okay, so we got that. So this is what we can answer. Can we answer the core? We got the type. But we can't answer base. We can't answer any, is it damaged or not? None visible, so we can answer that. There's nothing there. Jacket is torn. So we can put that, but hair-like substance on 31. What else do we got? That's all we got is a hair-like substance. Condition, terminal damage and jacket torn. What do we got here? Where was I going to put down? Jacket torn. Just some things to note. So now we've got some information about this. This is basically completed. Now all we need is a DNA match. Okay, so now we got 31, 42, 43, 44, 45, 53, 57. I'm going to go ahead and write some of this down just to make it quicker. 31, 42, 43, 44, 45, 53, and 57. Now this is all based on this is all based on the narrative. That's all I'm including here, so we can actually go on. Right, exactly. What does Kamel's birthday? Do I have that handy? Technically, I do on that timeline. Let me bring it up. Yeah, the thing is, if you look, like I said, you read this right here. Hair-like substance on 31. That's all that I'm just putting the information they have here. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to use this, what we found on the evidence. That now gets to go and get plugged in over there. So we got 31. What is 31? Bullet fragment. Firearms test. So they only did a firearms test. How does it have David's DNA on it? Or connections to him? Can't. They'd have to do a DNA test. So let's take a look. Unless that's something I just forgot to click on there. Nope, they never did a DNA test on it. Therefore, they can't really actually label as David. Can't. Without a DNA test, you cannot label as David. It's 31. Is there a match to anybody? No. They say there is, but there's no match. It's no verification. 42, what do we got? Bullet. Now these 42 through, so we just need 42 through 45. All Kamel. And they couldn't do anything for 45, so 42 for 44 is Kamel. $53, $57. What do we got for that? That tested for Rania. There's a nuclear test on this one. We got 57, which says David. So how does 31 and 57 get marked as David then? I think I might have accidentally hit that, but I'm going to double check. But this one, it does say David. I've been pretty good about marking this down pretty accurately, so. Hair-like and blood-like? What do you mean 1120? Yeah, I'm not sure what that means exactly. But regardless, we can go over here now. We got this information, so we can say none. This one's got Kamel. This one here is none. This one's Rania. This one's David. Claimed. Now, this is where things start to kind of make a little more sense here. Well, not making sense. This actually kind of deepens the whole. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% right. I just haven't taken a look. Let's see, 1120 just to be on the safe side. Yep, 1120. 100%. So we've got the information here now. Now we've got everything plugged in. There's no cantilures. We've got exactly what type of round was used. Original weight in grams. I'm just going to say assumed. But see, this is the thing. I don't even like using assumed, but I'm going to go and put it because that's what I used over here. Does that make sense? All these other bullets were used, so this should be the same one, hypothetically, but we don't know for sure. So I'm saying alleged. Or assumed. So, curious. You guys got any questions? Let's see. You're asking about the email Camille wrote to Allison, or Allison wrote, a reference to an opposite who was. Yeah, there's some things going on, right, with that email. The email is a big thing when it comes to this case as well, because that gives you some kind of a clear... Oh, the email? No, I already talked about it. So, yeah, these are some things I feel people should be seeing. This is an easier way to, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to look at it this way. So now you can kind of see some things here. What is this hair-like substance? So there's a hair. If there's hair in here, okay, it just says it's trace. Could trace be on the outside? Yes. Then we also got to take a look at this. 31. Petal is visible, but jacket's torn. Hair could have just gotten on it, right? There's a lot of different things that could have happened with this. Then you got blood-like and hair-like substance. That could be assumed that went into somebody's head. Blood-like substance, same thing. Blood-like substance. All right, cool. White substance. We could be looking, honestly, we could be looking at, so this also depends where you find this. Is now we get the white substance. Where's that found? The basement. So now we've got, it's a white substance. Could the brain matter have mixed in with some, or some kind of a mucus or something? Could that have gotten into the basement wall? And that's what happened here? The one that killed Rania. Oh wait, no, the one that we don't even know about. Whose DNA is in there? Yeah, that's even better here. So we got Kamel. We have an unknown here. This makes this even more curious. Then we got Rania and David. And this one's curious because, well, it's just white material. So what's up with this here? Then you also got next to nothing dropped. You got next to nothing dropped. Next to nothing dropped. Huge drop. Massive drop. Right? This doesn't make any sense. Gaining weight like that. I mean, it makes sense to some degree if you're gaining like some solid weight. What's heavier? Is it going to be drywall and sheetrock and all this? And, any other thing it's going to pick up going through a wall or ceiling? Is that going to be heavier than blood and brain and muscle and all this? Yeah. Yeah, it is. So that comes down to density. So which means this is probably just picked up all this. They're saying they found DNA in there. Yeah, right. Okay. Sure you did. I don't buy this one. I don't buy this one. I find something odd here, and I definitely find something very odd here. I mean, I buy this, but I find this very curious. Like, this doesn't lose a whole lot. That loses next to nothing. Even this one, this is weird. And then you got this one, it loses next to nothing, but she's smaller, not as developed, so I could kind of see that being a thing. That remains pretty close to this, which I would buy. So, but that is what I've got for tonight. Yeah, I know it was kind of a jumbled episode, but yeah, I wanted to go and cover the bullet weight next weekend. Just remember, next Saturday, me and Cryptrick are going to be doing a show. We're going to be going over. I don't remember the guy's name already. Holy crap. Rick, you want to help me out with that one? I don't remember the guy's name. I'm going to have to make sure I have that written down so I can go and gather as much information as I can on this. I think it was Schneider, I think it was. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But, yeah, Phil Schneider, that's what it was. Perfect. We're going to be looking into that case, kind of like how we did last night, except we're going to go and have a lot more information plugged in. Throughout the week, I'll be... yeah, it's all good. No worries there. No worries there. But we're going to be going over the case like how we did last night with Sahota and our officer Sahota, just to be a little more respectful, of course. But I'm gonna have some slides created for it. Rick will have access to those as soon as I get those made. I'm aiming to go get those made like tomorrow. do a quick little investigation tomorrow and a little bit tonight. But that's what I got. So, and the next Sunday, of course, we'll have more Murder of the Gray State. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.